Okay, now, like I said, guys, there's a few things here that you just have to know, all right, in order to be able to do this, all right? And what I'm going to say now is that the calculator makes life so much easier because, as I tell everyone, when I was in high school, everything was printed in the back of the book in a table. And every time I wanted to know the tangent of something, I'd have to look up the answer in the back of the book, or I'd have to find cosine or sine. You'd have to look at the table in the back of the book. So I need to explain to you how you use your calculator. The calculator has all this information, all right, available. All right, so we don't have to do that. All right. Now, what I want to show you is the power now of the calculator. All right. The only time we know anything about angles so far is from the 30, 60, 90 and the 45, 45, 90. All right. We can figure things out based on those. Now we can figure out the measure of all angles of a right triangle using trigonometry. All right. And what does that mean? For example, I'm trying to find angle T. So what I tell everybody to do is everybody circle the angle or what you're trying to find, which is angle T, and then you circle the other two known figures. And then for what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what is the relationship of 14 radical 3 to T. What is that called? There you go. I'm telling you, it's really simple. It's really simple. And again, it sounds complicated, but it's not. This is the opposite. And then what's 34 called? The adjacent. So now you say to yourself, what trig function involves the opposite and the adjacent? Tangent. That's right. So now here's what you need to be careful of. You write the trig function. So you write tangent. Then you write the angle. What angle are we looking for? T equals. And now you write the ratio. The ratio is what? 14 radical 3 over 34. Now, most of the time, when I say, for example, x, y, what holds the x and the y together? What operation? Multiplication. So here's the mistake that kids make. Kids think that this means tangent times t. All right, this is the one or two instances where it's not multiplication. All right. Every time you write a trig function, it must be accompanied by an angle. All right. So a lot of times I put it in parentheses because I don't want you to think it's multiplication. All right. But it's not necessary. All right. So now what am I trying to teach you? I'm trying to teach you I need to get to this t. So we have to do, like anything else, we have to do the inverse operation. So when I say addition, what's the inverse of addition? Multiplication. The inverse is the inverse of square root, right? So we have inverses of trig function. And guess what they're called? Inverse trig. All right. But in this case, we're specifically doing inverse what? Inverse tangent. Thank you so much. We're doing inverse tangent. Now, you don't have to write this, but I'm trying to show you just so it makes sense in your head. All right. I'm going to do the inverse tangent of both sides, which is what you normally would do. So everybody do that just for the first couple times, and you won't have to do it. Now, what does the inverse tangent and the tangent do to each other? They cancel out. So these cancel out. So you're left with t equals inverse tangent of 14 radical 3 over 34. And that is the answer. All right. However, we want the angle measure, correct? So you put approximately, then you take out your handy dandy calculator. Now, inverse functions are always grouped together. So look at tangent and look right above tangent. What's right above tangent? Inverse. That's right. So you hit second tangent. Now, to me, I don't care, but if you like fractions, hit alpha and then hit the X and it pops up. Does everybody see that? First, I'm looking around the room. Some of you guys, where's your calculator?
My sister has it because she said she had a quiz and she lost it.
What about, okay. So what about you? Okay, you guys, it's very difficult, right? You need to practice. So do me a favor. You're gonna pair up here, let her, and JD, you kind of, oh, do you have yours? So you pair up with somebody. I don't care who you pair up with. Who else doesn't have one? Everybody else got theirs? Okay, yeah, I just need everybody to pair up. All right, you have to know how to do it. Bless you, bless you. All right, so now hit inverse tangent. Now we need the fraction. So it's, you can hit the alpha and the X and the fraction comes up, correct? And then you just type in 14 radical 3 and then over 34 and then hit enter. And I need you to tell me what that angle measure is.
35.49.
And generally math is to 3 decimal places. So you're going to ask you to round to 3 decimal, 35 point what? What? 496. Now, am I going to argue over the rounding? No, if you can't round, I'm in trouble. Okay. So if you put 35.497 or 39.495, do I really care? No, I don't care. All right. But generally in math, you round to 3 decimal places. All right. So on your notes, if you want, if you're looking for an angle, you use inverse sine, inverse cosine, or inverse tangent. That's when you're looking for an angle. All right. When you're looking for an angle, you're using inverse sine, inverse cosine, and inverse tangent. All right. Make sure you got that. All right. Now we're on number 5. So again, we're still looking at angle T. So I circle angle T and then I circle the 2 numbers. And then 7 is called what? And 18 is called, what is it? Definitely hypotenuse. Now, again, this is something I used to do just to make sure I was correct. And some of you are like, well, I already understand it now. Do I have to write all this out if you understand it? No, you don't. All right. But I'm showing you this is how I used to do it. All right. So now I know you can just write the sine of T is equal to 7 over 18. And then after you write that, I just want for a couple more times, just so you can put it in your brain, I want you to tell me that T is equal to what? Right, inverse sine of 7/18. All right, and then what's that? And everybody's got to type it in the calculator. 22.885 degrees. Harrison, would you mind sitting back one? So I'm gonna feel like Jackson's gonna miss a whole bunch if he's not typing this in the calculator. He doesn't have his today. All right, I appreciate it, Harrison. I want him to try. All right. Thank you, Harrison. Everybody needs to put it on the calculator. All right, everybody try it. Everybody good with inverse sine? All right, now everybody take a look at number 6. We're still looking for T, so we circle T and we circle the other 2 numbers. And then you're just looking at that saying, okay, what are those relationships? What is that? Adjacent and hypotenuse. So then you know from yesterday, because we worked it out and wrote it down a bunch of times, we know that that's what? Cosine, not cos, cosine. All right. So it's cosine of t is equal to what? 34 over 87. So then you write underneath that, t is equal to inverse cosine of 34 over 87. And somebody tell me what that worked out to be approximately. 66.995 degrees. And if it's not coming up on your calculator, you got to let me know. All right. That's like I said, it's really easy, but you need the practice. Everybody good? I told you, it's really simple. It looks complicated. It's really simple. Okay, so now we're going to highlight 7, 8, and 9. All right, that's homework. All right, we already did 10 and 11. Is everybody good with 10 and 11? Does anybody need me to talk to you about that? Now, remember, just a brief little note. Does everybody understand? You should have reduced this to 5, 12, 13. It would have saved yourself some time, right? Always reduce if you can. Just like over here, 8, 15, 17, and those are the Pythagorean triples that we learned. All right. So now, this is embarrassingly simple. All right, we're going to round to how many places again? 3. So all we have to do is literally just type these in. So I want someone to type in sine of 30. And of course, you should know that's 0.5. And then eventually you'll do it so much, you can say the tangent of 45 is 0.707. Is that correct? Everybody type in tangent. Now,
Yeah.
oh boy, I was wrong. Tangent of 45 is definitely 1. Do the cosine of 45.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's 0.707, and that's 1. Okay, so again, now you know when you have an angle measure, you type it straight in. All right, that's the difference. When you're looking for an angle, you do inverse sine, inverse cosine, inverse tangent. Is everybody happy with that? All right, so those problems are straightforward. All right, now here we go. I'm on 18. All right, now here we go. I need X. I have 7 and I have 36. What's the relationship?
Opposite and adjacent.
Opposite and adjacent. That's what you should describe first. You have an opposite and you have an adjacent. So what trig function?
Tangent.
Tangent. So we're going to write tangent of 36 is equal to what? X over 7. Now I'm trying to figure out what X is, right? So I just multiply both sides by 7. So X equals 7 tangent 36, which is approximately
5.085.
Now, please don't take his word for it. Everybody type it in on the calculator. Everybody try. Anybody have any issues with that?
How did you find it?
I don't know what you mean.
How do you type it in?
Well, try it and see. Type it in. You're super smart. All right. If you type it in the wrong way, it won't be 5.085. If you type it in and it's the correct answer, then that's correct. All right. Any issues with that? Any issues? All right. Let's look at 19. All right. I need some help. Trig function. What trig function are we doing? Sine, right? sine 63 equals what? 12 over x. Okay, now look, please. Everybody always asks me this question. It's frustrating when you don't know how to solve this. All right, so please look. If you want, you can always make it a what? You can always make it a proportion, right? Two fractions. But that's not really how I want you guys to do it. I want everybody in here to look up on the board and see if you're agreeing with me. If I want to solve that, I'm going to multiply by x, and then I'm going to divide by the sine of 63. That's how your brain should be operating. All right, I'll back up a little bit and try it one more time. That's the original. I'm trying to find x. Does everybody agree? I'm multiplying both sides by x, which moves it over here. And then I'm what? Dividing by the sine of 63. Come on now, everybody's got to be able to do that. I'm not going to teach you how to solve a proportion. We do it in 6th grade. Cross multiply and divide, if you get it down to that. But x equals approximately what? How much? 13.466. All right, now let's see if you know. All right, let's see if you know. All right, I'm going to leave it up to you to tell me what the answer is for 20. All right, you try to set it up on your own. And after you set it up, solve it. And then we'll see if you're good. If you can do this, then you've mastered trig. That's how easy it is. You got the answer already? Okay, so I'm just going to write x equals, or no, x is approximately
3.106.
And then we need some confirmation on that. 3.106. I try to tell kids all the time, this is so simple. All right. And they make it out to be so difficult. It sounds complicated. It's just a ratio. All right. That's all it is. Trigonometry is just about ratios. Anybody have any issues with that? Now, just for my own, what trig function was used? Sine. All right. Sine of 15 equals what? X over 12. And so all I did was I multiplied both sides by what? 12. That's it. That's all there is. All right. Now, quickly, 21 through 23. What kind of trig function am I going to be using on 21, 22, and 23? Say it. Inverse. All of these down here are inverses. Why are these inverses? You're finding a what? You're finding an angle. All right. You're finding an angle. Now, for me personally, I didn't have to memorize that because when I wrote this out, for example, sine of x is equal to 6 over 18. I knew I had to get to x. How do I get to x? I do the inverse. Right? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? All right. If I'm trying to get to x, I'm doing the inverse. As opposed to what I'm doing up here, I multiplied both sides by 7 because I had to get rid of dividing by 7. All right. Is everybody understanding me on that? All right. So I feel like we are great. 21, 22, and 23 is good. Listen to me. 24 and 25. Did I assign that yesterday?
No.
All right. I don't care if you do that anymore because that's just so repetitive. But some of you might need it. All right. If you think you need it, write it out. All right. But you can't really do the problems if you don't know the relationships now. Do we agree with that? All right. Here, 26, 27, 28, same thing. 29, 30, 31, same thing. 32. These are all just shapes now. All right. I want everybody to go to 35. Everybody go to 35 for me. Now, these are the things that aren't as obvious. All right. I'm trying to find the measure of this angle right here. I'm trying to find the measure of that angle. Someone tell me, how do you think I'm going to do it?
Oh,
Tell me.
Use like the inverse of it.
Inverse of what?
This,
Well, how do I know? That's what I'm asking. I don't see any triangles. I need a triangle.
make one,
Do you make, wow, how about that? Let's make one. Where are you going to make it from?
the, like the inverse.
Come on, someone help her out. Tell her, Hellerson.
like, just draw it where, like, x equals 3. Is where-
X equals 3. Look right here. That's brilliant. You're just drawing that right triangle right there. Would it make any difference if I did this triangle right here? No, because it's a ratio and the ratio will reduce. So what trig function are we going to use? Tangent. So we would write tangent of x is equal to what? You're awesome. Say it again. You're very good. 1/3. And so now what do we have? X equals inverse tangent of 1/3. So that angle that was created is approximately 18.435 degrees. Thank you very much. All right, so everything is draw a right triangle, figure out what 2 things you know, and there's the missing thing. And it's either always going to be either sine, cosine, or what? Tangent. You just have to identify opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. And then you just solve the problems. It's super easy. All right, so there we go. Oh, I did this one already. Listen, I'm not a big fan of 36 after I looked at it. So if you want, well, not if you want, just do me a favor. You don't have to do question 36. All right, you just cross that out, whatever. All right. And now I am confident that you can do the rest. All right, I'm confident that you can do the rest. All right. So again, please go through, just practice. All right, we've got plenty of time, like 20 minutes. You might be able to finish up the worksheet. All right. So everybody do me a favor, take care of that. All right.